We all deal with stress. Maybe it's a tough day at work, a fight with a friend, or unexpected news from the doctor. But did you know that it's not just what happens to you that affects your health, it's how stressful it feels to you that matters most. This idea comes from a fascinating study by researchers Shields, Fassett, Carman, and others. They wanted to answer a simple question. Why does subjective stress, how stressful you feel something is, often predict health problems better than just counting how many stressful things happened? Let's break it down. The researchers compared two ideas. First, maybe the reason subjective stress predicts poor health is because some stressors are just more serious than others, and our brains naturally weight them by importance. Second, maybe people's reactions to stress, how overwhelmed or helpless they feel, matter more than the event itself. In other words, some of us might just be more vulnerable to the effects of stress. To test this, they ran two big studies. In the first study, they asked over 200 adults to report both the number of stressful events in their lives and how stressful each one felt. They also asked about their health, things like sleep, physical symptoms, and even whether a doctor had diagnosed them with stress-related diseases or autoimmune disorders. The result? People's subjective ratings of stress, how intense or upsetting the events felt, were better at predicting health problems than simply counting how many stressors occurred. In fact, people who rated their stress as more severe tended to report worse sleep, more physical complaints, and more diagnosed health issues. In the second study, they focused on college students dealing with anxiety and depression. Again, they found that how stressful the students felt their experiences were was more closely linked to their mental health symptoms than just how many stressful things they'd gone through. This tells us something really important. It's not just the stressors, it's your experience of them that shapes your health. Why is this the case? The study suggests that subjective stress may tap into deeper parts of who we are, our sensitivity to stress, how we process challenges, how much control we think we have. For example, two people might face the same situation, say, failing a test. One sees it as a temporary setback. The other feels like a total failure. Guess who's more likely to feel anxious or sick afterward? This research doesn't mean your stress isn't real if someone else has it worse. It means your personal experience matters, a lot. And that's powerful because it means we can work with our own stress responses. With tools like therapy, mindfulness, or even just self-awareness, we can learn to shift how we relate to stress. You might not be able to change what happens, but you can change how you respond.